Shalom Yahshua. First and foremost, I give our praises to Yahweh, Hashem Bashai, Hashem Kakadash, Bhakti Yahweh, Bhakti Bashai, Bhakti Yahweh, Bhakti Bashai, Bhakti Yahweh, Bhakti Bashai. This is the body of Ramya, back at you with another video. In today's video, it's basically going to bring out, a lesson on tribulations, tribulations and trials. Because plenty of our people will look at tribulation and trials as a bad thing, not knowing that these are the things that the men of the Lord, glorify for, be in glory for, because we know once these things happen, we know that the Most High is working with us. We know that it's the Most High, putting us through tests, and obstacles to see if we're truly worthy, to see if He deems us worthy, And these are the things that the Most High said is going to happen, to those that follow His law, statutes, and commandments, But plenty of our people, like I say, look at this, as a bad thing, but we don't, First precept I'm going to get into is Romans 5:3. It reads, "And not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience." Patience of what? The Spirit, Patience of the Spirit, patience of you knowing that the Most High is going to get you through whatsoever, He chose in front of you, if you be a part of the elect number, Because the Most High chose trials and tribulations that, His men, He chose trials and tribulations that those that He feels as though is worthy of gaining the kingdom of heaven, and that's the only way you're going to gain that, Ain't nothing good is going to come easy, So the Most High is going to throw trials and tribulations at you, throw different tasks at you, different obstacles at you, to see if you're ready, and this is how He does it, as I say, and not so only, but we glory in tribulations also, So when these things happen, take it as a good thing, the Most High is the Spirit of balance, So ain't nothing in this walk is going to come easy, ain't nothing, it's going to come easy. It's going to be good times, it's going to be bad times, and if everything going good for you, check yourself. Chances are you ain't part of that elect number, If everything going good for you, something ain't right within you, Because the Most High is going to throw trials and tribulations at His men, at those men that He feels is worthy of gaining, salvation, And when these things happen, glorifying it, because then the Most High is working with you. But plenty of our people will go through trials and tribulations and then stop believing in the words of Yahweh, stop following in His ways, stop doing His will, all because things get too hard. But guess what? The Most High ain't gonna throw nothing on you that you can't bear, He ain't gonna never give you something that He know you can't get through, And this is why you have to resort back to the scriptures, because if you resort back to the scriptures, you can know, hey, these things has to happen, and these things happening for a reason. You resort back to the scriptures, it's going to keep you seen, it's going to comfort you, And like I say, trials and tribulations ain't a bad thing. These are good things. These are only tests to see if the Most High, looks at you as if you're worthy, And myself going to test to that, because the Most High throw obstacles at me, throw trials at me, But what I do, I resort back to the scripture, because the scripture is the only thing that has the answer for why these things are happening. The scripture is the only thing that has, basically the blueprint, and the layout, on certain things, But plenty of our people don't see it that way, Our people believe if anything going bad, it's the works of the devil, all because of Christianity, all because what they've been taught, It's the book of 2 Thessalonians 1:4. It reads, "So that we ourselves glory in you in the churches of the Most High." Churches being, where 2 or 3 are gathered, in the name of Yahweh Shai, because that's what the scripture tells us, so it don't necessarily mean a building, so you could throw that thought out your head also. It says, for your patience and faith in all the persecutions and tribulations that ye endure, So if the prophets before us could endure trials and tribulations, why can't we? And we ain't no better than them. We ain't no better than the prophets of Yahweh, of the prophets before our time of Yahweh, You're those same people back, in today's time. Because if you was a prophet before, you can be a prophet now, The spirit of the prophet is subject to the prophets. You know? So as I say, so that we ourselves glory in the churches of the Most High for your patience and faith in all your persecutions and tribulations that you endure. You know, so it's good to endure persecutions and tribulations for the sake of Yahweh Shem Shai. You know, because we know the Most High is going to get us through that in the end. You know, and as I say, the Most High don't put nothing on you that you can't bear. You know, He don't put nothing on you that you can't bear. And that's what our people have to realize. You know, but as they say, once they see bad things happening, they look upon it as if it's the work of the devil. You know, not knowing it's happening to the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. You know, and that causes plenty of people to stop believing in the words of Yahweh Shem Shai. Or because bad times happening to them. Everything ain't gonna be smooth all the time. You know, as they say, the Most High is the spirit of balance. You know, so you have the glory in the tribulations and the persecutions. You know, because the prophets before us could do it, why can't we? You know, and we ain't no better than them. You know, continue to push forward into the word of Yahweh Shem Shai. You know, continue to do the will of Yahweh Shem Shai. You know, the Most High, you know, if the Most High said He can get you through it, He can get you through it. You know, and as we know, the Most High ain't like man. He don't say something and take it back. You know, He don't say something and He don't take it back. So like, He don't say something and then take it back. You know, once the Most High say He can get you through something, He can get you through something. The Most High say He promised you this, He promised you it. You know, so you gotta believe in the words of Yahweh Shem Shai. You know, 1 Thessalonians 3 and 4. For verily, when we were with you, we told you before that we should suffer tribulation, even as it came to pass, and we know. You know, so you have to suffer. You know, you have to suffer tribulations for Yahweh Shem Shai. The Most High is going to throw tests, obstacles, tribulations at you. But guess what? It's up to you if you can continue to follow in His will. It's up to you if you can continue to do, you know, His laws, statutes, and commandments. You know, it's up to you. You know, the Most High has to try that spirit. You know, and the only way He's going to try that spirit is if He puts you through some tests and obstacles and tribulations. You know, this walking can be easy, man. You know, and that's what we continue to tell our people. And if it's easy for you, as we say, check yourself. Check yourself if it's easy. You know, the Most High, you know, is a power of balance. You know, the Most High words is an outline and a guideline for life. You know, so if you ever feel as though, you know, you need help with something, or if you're going through some hard times, resort to the scriptures. You know, the scriptures, I can guarantee you the scriptures has the answer for whatever situation you're going through. You know, but that's only if you have the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai. If you ain't got that spirit, you can't resort to the scriptures. If you ain't got that spirit, you won't understand the scriptures. You know, you can continue to do all acts of wickedness. You can continue to follow in the ways of this world. You can continue to put, you know, the words of Yahweh Shem Shai, you know, behind your back. You know, if you ain't of the will of the Most High, you know, if you don't have the spirit of the Most High, how you expect to do His will? You know, the Most High works in small numbers, and as we know, many are called, but a few are chosen. You know we called, you know, but we ain't know if we chosen from Yahweh Shem Shai. You know, we ain't know if we chosen. We hoping to be chosen. We hoping. This is why we continue to push forward, push hard, through whatever trial and tribulation the Most High put before us. This is why we continue to, you know, have the scriptures as our comforter in these times. Because we know once the scripture could comfort us, you know, the Most High is comforting us. You know, because these are His words. You know. This is the book of Psalms 34 and verse 17. It reads, "The righteous cry, and the Lord hear it." Who's the righteous? You know, being the hopefully elect. You know, hopefully myself and the like-minded I can around the four corners of the world be a part of that elect number. It says, "The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth, and delivereth them out of all their troubles." You know, so the Most High is gonna is going to deliver you out of whatsoever you're going through. But you have to follow His ways, laws, statutes, and commandments. You have to continue to believe in His word, continue to have faith that He's going to get you through it. You know, you can't say you believe in the words of Yahweh, but you ain't following His laws, statutes, and commandments. You can't say you believe in the words of Yahweh, but you're doing contrary to His law. You know, you can't say you believe in Yahweh, but you continue to sack sin upon sin. Or when, you know, any inconvenience come, you're ready to just give up. You know, that ain't no true belief. That ain't no true faith. You know, verse 18, the Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit. You know, so the Most High is working with the low and the meek. You know, those with that broken heart and that contrite spirit. You know, and those are only the men who's willing to put their pride aside, you know, for the sake of Yahweh Shai. You know, and it's only a handful of men who's willing to do that. You know, it's only a handful. Verse 19, many are the affliction of the righteous, but the Lord delivered him out of them all. You know, so the Most High is going to continue to whip you. He's going to continue to throw trials and tribulations at you. You know, but you have to look at these things, you know, as good things, glory in these things, because you know if the Most High is doing it, chances are He's working with you. Chances are you may be a part of the elect number, you know. So if it's only a slim chance, you know, that you think you're part of the elect, you know, continue to push forward through these trials and tribulations. You know, continue to push, you know, in doing the will of Yahweh Shai. Continue to push and stand firm for the Lord. You know, continue to do these things, you know, because it's going to help you in the end, you know. But if you casting aside His will, you know, giving up at any inconvenience, you know, continuing to love that slackness, then you ain't going to get nowhere. You know, you ain't going to get nowhere. You know, glory in the works of Yahweh Shai. You know, whether it be good or bad, glory in His trials, His tribulations, and His persecutions. You know, glory in them. You know, find the good what's gonna come out of them, because you know He's gonna deliver you out of them those trials and tribulations, you know, and those afflictions. So find the good out of it. You know, but hopefully this lesson was much edifying and serve this purpose and reach who it was supposed to. You know, hopefully this lesson will be much edifying. You know, as I say, you know, trials and tribulations ain't a bad thing. You know, they are not a bad thing. You know, the Most High has to put His elect through certain things, you know, to see if they are worthy. You know, hopefully this lesson served this purpose and every truth was it supposed to. I give our praises to Yahweh Shai for putting the Spirit upon me to do this video. Shalom.